Welcome to a new fragrance review. Today we're going to try Ombré Lather Parfum by Tom Ford. So we got a little sample, and the sample is really thin and really long. Like if I go with the normal size of sample, you can see, like really long, just longer. For the little cardboard here, what it looks like. The fragrance, the bottle looks like the original one. There's like a picture. It's black on black background, might be hard to see, but the difference is that the original has a black label and this one has a white one. There's a little stuff at the back. No text to read, so we're gonna go straight to the smell. So as I spray it in the air, picking up some leather, a little bit of jasmine, but it's more toward the leather. It has a little bit of the same vibe as the original. It's different, and I'm gonna tell you the main difference. But there's that nice leather note that I'm picking up with some sweetness from the jasmine. So when I smell on paper, the first note that comes to my mind is the violet leaf. It's probably because I'm already having the leather and the jasmine in my nose. I'm also picking up some cedar, picking up some jasmine, picking up a little bit of leather. But the violet leaf is really strong on the paper. On my skin, what I'm picking up is leather that is really present, and it's the most powerful note in the top notes. Get a little bit of violet leaf, a little bit of jasmine. I'm picking up a little bit of cedar also, and I'm picking up something like that reminds me a little bit of like weedy note, tobacco. I'm not quite sure, and it's really dim in the background, but it's not something that I can really describe as being that specific note. And also there's the orris that I'm not quite sure that I can pick up, but there's a little something. It seems like it's part of the blend, but it's not like definitive note that I'm picking up, at least not in the opening. In the heart, still picking up a lot of leather, and it's still the main note. Then the two other notes that I'm picking up a lot are violet leaf and jasmine. And at that point, I'm picking up some tobacco, just a little bit less. It's really soft, but I can describe it really as a tobacco note at that point. Same thing for the orris that I'm picking up, and I can really describe it as an orris root. It's just really, really soft, but it's there. And I'm also picking up some cedar. Then in the base note, I'm picking up a lot of leather, and I'm picking up some woody note. It's less powerful than leather, but more powerful than the other note that I'm picking up, and a little bit of tobacco also. And as it keeps drying down even farther, after a couple hours, I'm picking up a lot of woody note and a little bit of leather, a little bit of tobacco. Projection of the fragrance is pretty good, is good 6 feet around me. People were able to pick up the fragrance, and longevity was average. There's that it lasted a good 6 hours on my skin as the fragrance as it is. And you know, as telling you like the hard dry down a couple hours, that little woody note with like some tobacco and some leather in the background. After that 6 hour mark, it was still there on my skin, but it was really soft, and it was not like it was a skin scent, but it was extremely soft to a point. Usually when it's a skin scent, I still consider it as the fragrance, but at that point it's more like leftovers aroma chemical than the actual fragrance, in my opinion. And it's definitely a point where you'd want to reapply something more of the same fragrance or another one. For the complete note breakdown, dot notes are violet leaf and cedar. Heart notes are jasmine and orris. And the base notes are leather, woody notes, and tobacco. And before I go with the breakdown of where I would see this fragrance, I will compare it to the original Ombré Lather. First of all, this is the best version of Ombré Lather in my opinion. It just smells really good. I'm a big fan of leather fragrance, and Ombré Lather actually was extremely disappointing for me, the original one. And the reason is that the jasmine is extremely strong. I heard the story that Ombré Lather was created because there was Tuscan leather that existed, and women wanted to have a leather fragrance, or Tom Ford wanted to make a leather fragrance for women, and that's how Ombré Lather was created. I don't know if that story is true, but it makes sense to me. The fragrance, the original one, is really a feminine fragrance. It's a leathery fragrance, so it's a bit like bold and masculine for a woman's fragrance, but for me, it really is a woman's fragrance. It smells like jasmine a lot with a little touch of leather, and for someone that loves leather, it's disappointing. This one smells like leather for real. It's the forefront of the fragrance, really improvement. Of course, if you love jasmine, you're probably gonna prefer the original one, but in my opinion, this one is the best one. Also, I would say that it's more wearable for men. I know a lot of men wear the original one, but I still believe that it's a fragrance made for women, the original one. And this one is really truly unisex, maybe a bit more for men, but I would say truly unisex. I would say also that the fragrance by itself is nicer to analyze. The little notes that I'm picking up, the evolution of the fragrance is more interesting, but that's just an opinion, just how I perceive the fragrance. So now where I would see this fragrance, being based around leather, it will be a really great business fragrance. I think it's really bold, masculine, really elegant. Also, there's still a little touch of sweetness from the violet and the jasmine. So if you're looking for something that is really bold, elegant, but is also modern, this is really good fragrance for that purpose. As a dating scent, I don't think it will be really good. If you're really into leather fragrance, you could probably pull it off, but leather is already not that kind of scent, and I would say violet and jasmine also are not really notes so appropriate for that, especially with leather. So I don't think it will be really a good dating scent, unless if you're absolutely like a hardcore leather lover, then you will pull it off. In the summer winter spectrum, it's more of a winter fragrance. I would say it will fit pretty much in any time except when it's really hot in summer, but like spring and fall, winter, you will be able to pull it off easily. And I think it would, maybe if it's like super cold, but I think it will be able to cut through the cold, like -20 or something like that. It should be able to cut through it, but more than that might be a bit hard. And as an everyday scent, I don't think it's really that type of fragrance. It doesn't last quite the whole day also. It's somewhat expensive, so I don't think it will be a really great everyday scent. I would say it's more like an elegant business scent, something to go see some client or look like go on a business meeting, or of course, like if you're like a businessman, entrepreneur, manager, something like that, you always have to dress sharp and wear like a business fragrance every day. It's going to be a good everyday fragrance, but again, that will still make it fall into the business fragrance category. Personally, I think it's a really good fragrance. It improved on the original DNA, and it's really what I didn't like about the original Ombré Lather got changed and to only keep what was good about it. So I really think if you're wondering which one, you should try both of them, but I personally would say that the best one is the new Parfum. So, hope you enjoyed the video. If it's the case, well, like and share. If you tried this fragrance, tell me what you think about it. Also, if you tried both of them, tell me which of the two you think is the best. So, thanks for watching and see you soon.